Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, well, this one's not mine to sell you, but I can connect you with the man who made it. Linde Werdelin, creator and imagination behind the Linde Werdelin brand, is relaunching his brand after a few years of hibernation. He's been building about 100 watches per year over the last couple of years, supplying his older customers and keep in touch with the watch community. But he's returning to design and construction in earnest in the near future. And Jorn is a longtime supporter of me, dating back to my outlaw days with Watch You Want, back when he conferred legitimacy on my live stream by coming on and sharing web space with me when I carried and sold exactly 0 new watches. He's recently visited and told me about his plans for the future, and I think it's a lot of fun to look back at the original watches, which were a hybrid of Swiss construction, Danish design, and a British business office. So that's what Linde Werdelin was then, is now, and will be. But the watches are coming back, and this was one of their last watches built during their period of larger series production. Launched in 2016 and made in 75 pieces. This is the Linde Werdelin Spidolite 3DTP Carbon. Now, the watch is made of a couple of different things: sapphire, ceramic, blackened titanium, and carbon fiber. Of course, we also have natural rubber, but this was the lightest watch they made, and I actually put it on my scale, 91.4 grams, very impressive stuff. So this watch, which has a outer case that's made of carbon and only 3.8 grams in mass, this is a very light watch, verging on toy-like. The Spido series was Linde Werdelin's Land Sports series. They also had the Octopus, which was more aquatic sports, but here we still have a lot of versatility and durability, plus 100-meter water resistance. But this was always envisioned as more of a watch for a person who is hiking or skiing, or doing something that required minimal mass and encumbrance on land. Now, if you do find one of their old dive or land sports computers, it will mate to this case, which was the logic behind the original shape. So that's just one other feature that's out there if you do find one of those Danish-made computers from back in the day. Difficult to describe the way this watch fits, but the bare measurements don't tell the story. Technically, it's a 46. It does measure 14 millimeters thick, and it's 49.2 from lug to lug, but my feeling was always that it wore sort of like a 42. And when you put it on the wrist, you can see that, first of all, the lugs are not out over the edge of my 16-centimeter circumference wrist, so it fits really nicely. And even over the top, which exaggerates the width of a watch, you can see the lugs are inboard. Being as light as it is, the size is a non-factor. It's very comfortable. Ergonomics are a major point of this design, and you can see how the strap at each side is countersunk into the lug. So the watch, if you want to think of it as lug-to-lug dimensions, you really need to think of the inner lugs on the bottom, because those are the contact points with the skin, and that's actually where the strap begins against your wrist. Taking a look at the strap, it's an interesting piece. It's got an electrifying yellow color that I love. A few lines designed in to break up the monotony of the expanse of electrifying yellow, though I like more electrifying yellow. The more the merrier for me. You can see on the underside there are little hollows to allow the wrist to breathe and also make the strap more pliant. And then we have a buckle here, which is blackened titanium. You can see it's been faceted in sort of a gem-like fashion. A highly severe angular geometry. And notice the brushing on the pin buckle to match the body itself. You can see the pin and the buckle both brushed. And then if you look inside the Linde Werdelin logo, the Linde Werdelin logo is media blasted. God is in the details with this design. Everything that's gold here is titanium with a nitride coating. So that turns it gold. Think about the stanchions on the suspension of super high performance sport bikes, and you'll see this treatment on those shafts. Now we have the Spido logo here, which of course indicates this is part of the Spido series. You'll see it again on the case back. Taking a look there, you can see how it has Spido plus a skeleton head or a skull, water resistant down to 100 meters. You can see the surfacing on the back, media blast, and then concentric brushing. And then on the dial, you can see that it is, in fact, a skeletonized movement, but we've got a lot to talk about before we get there. Each one of these carbon fiber cases is going to be unique because the carbon fibers in the layup never fall the same way twice. Everything's been evacuated. They're not leaning on the idea of light materials like ceramic and carbon. They're even cutting those away. Taking a look at the bezel, it is ceramic, the better to resist scratches. And in my experience, carbon cases do a great job of hiding scratches and scuffs themselves because they already have a texture to them. Now you notice there's a combination of satin and media blast, and then we have the dial. We're going to show you the loom shot of that in a moment. And here it is. Notice that the seconds hand is loomed. Not everyone does that, but I always appreciate it. The movement features a combination of DLC and titanium nitride. It's a modified ETA architecture built by Concepto. It goes by Linde Werdelin caliber 7, which is what that little LW7 means. Now we have a chaptering outboard, we have a seconds track and an hour track inboard of that, so the dial has very good depth. The hands are golden and brushed, and you can see a different array of colors, textures, materials, and focal planes here. You can also see the escapement from the dial side, which is a lot of fun. So it's a good-looking movement, even if it has humble origins, although in ETA architecture, it is built and modified for Linde Werdelin by engineering house Concepto. Bidirectional automatic winding, 42-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate. It does have stop seconds or hacking, and then it pivots on 20 joules. And once more, though this is a land sports watch, you can absolutely take it swimming, and it's designed to be modular, so Linde Werdelin still sell a huge array of straps and buckles for these watches that can be interchanged simply by removing hardware. But when they are fixed resolutely, which I always appreciate, as spring bar failures on straps are one of the most tragic and avoidable pitfalls of watch ownership. If only we had more of these screw-fixed straps. You can see the nitrided hex screws on the back that hold the case in place. A brand that's a lot of fun, led by decent people with different kind of ideas, and interestingly, they support their pre-owned market by buying them back and selling them as vintage. A curious notion for a company that only dates back to the 2000s, but it shows that they support their older watches. Wouldn't you love to see Breitling and Omega doing the same? But Linde Werdelin's always been different. You can reach out to me, Team Mosso, at the1916company.com, and I'll hook you up with the man whose name is on the dial. I do not have this watch to sell, but I wish him and I wish them absolutely well.